All right, so just got off the bus, and anyway, so I recently posted an article from Democracy Now! About the FBI infiltration of the Black Lives Matter protest movement, and how they use, the FBI that is, use a felon to drive around during the protests in a hearse. And I'm gonna tell you guys the significance of the hearse, with loaded, with a bunch of loaded semi-automatic and automatic weapons, right? And again, we know they have other agents in the crowd that was instigating, hyping up the crowd, egging them on to engage in vandalism and violence. Okay, this is what the FBI is doing. Now, this is a peaceful protest, but the FBI have been paying these so-called informants, snitches. They're basically criminals the FBI can use that will lie, that will manipulate people, drug them, you know, put them in positions to compromise their integrity, compromise their lives. And so it's not a surprise that the FBI would do this. And the significance of the hearse now. So my brother, who was targeted in the mid-90s, used to tell me about how every time he would come out of his apartment building, he would always see a hearse driving by, right? This is what they would do, okay? And earlier on in my targeting, they wasn't doing it as much, but they used to do it, right? And again, you notice these things because when you're being in this so-called hypnotic state, or this state in which you're being directed, again, using silent sound technology, radio wave frequency for mind control, you're being directed to turn, if you're driving, if you're walking, to go certain things. You see, this is why when I started to study this stuff, I used to just go outside and walk around, right? And I would be directed to go a certain place, and on the corner there would be perps, you know, doing certain things, right? Giving certain hand signals, or sometimes there'll be two of them shaking hands. Usually be a white person or a black person, a white man, a black man, shaking hands and then walking off abruptly, right? So that's when I started studying this stuff. He's still at the corner over there. Look, oh, she's going now. Standing at the corner, another white woman standing at the corner over here. I guess to make sure I'm there. Oh, there she goes now. So she kind of hid herself for a couple minutes. Actually, she's not white. She looks like she's Hispanic or light-skinned black woman. Anyhow, yep. Now, what's the significance of her walking with her hands in her pocket? When I came to pick up the keys last night, Pam opened the door, and then after she opened the door, she put both her hands in her pocket, just looking at me. And I'm like, okay. I mean, I've seen it before. This is not something that females would normally do. That's not their behavior, right? That's more something of when you're waiting for somebody or what have you. But, you know, because again, she's opened the door plenty of times. You know, like I said, but it's not new. She's done it before too, particularly when they started targeting me. This is why you hear the sirens. I hope you heard the sirens in the background. Right? So, anyhow, as I was saying, so the hearse now, right? And it is because I believe that, not because I believe, but because I think that is because they were using this technology on the crowd to aggravate them even more, to manipulate their emotions into anger. And this is why you had, and this was a white guy they had. This is a white guy, right? A white guy from, I think, from the Midwest, okay? And on top of that, he became one of the leaders of one of the Black Lives Matter movement organization. This is a white guy now. I keep saying, for black people, white people cannot be the leaders of your organization. When you're fighting for civil rights, when you're fighting for justice, for the crime committed against us as a people, no one should be at the position of in terms of running the organization, but a black person. And you got to be very, very careful of what type of black leader you elected to be the head of these positions, right, in these organizations. Because as you see with the Black Lives Matter movement, its founders, how they've been manipulated by their so-called partners, right? Understand what's going on. Again, honey traps, people who will get into a relationship with you, even marry you, and they are agents of white supremacy, okay? And they may have children with you. They may say, I love you, right? But it's to derail your organization, particularly civil rights organizations that deal with the injustices of black people being done by this white supremacist system in society and white supremacy as a whole. All right? So, yep. I'll talk to you guys in the next video.